Not every dream stays the same.
So when everything happened, and then after that, I started and I was like, no, if football has made this happen to me, then you have to get someone to make some.
And sometimes chasing one leads you straight into another. On this episode of Dreams and Feelings podcast, we sit down with Augustine Quansah, a chemical engineering graduate who found himself reporting transfer news, match day stories, and interviewing Ghanaian footballers. But here is the twist. Content creation wasn't always the plan. It is what he's doing now until he lands his dream job as an engineer.
How is it like from your point of view?
The Ghana Premier League seems to be like a community that the inhabitants think has been black labeled, but the leaders of the community think it's up there.
Augustine, welcome to Dreams and Feelings.
Charlie, thanks. Sir.
Thank you for coming here.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Okay.
How is everything going? How are you feeling now?
Yeah. So by God's grace, I'm doing very well, and then everything is well.
Okay. I want us to start from your early love for football. I want us to talk about your football journey. You are a chemical engineer, right? And then you also love football. You are a football journalist, or how should I call you? Are you a content creator or a journalist?
I wouldn't call myself a journalist because I understand journalists are those who have acquired knowledge of journalism through schools. So that's why someone wouldn't just go outside and call himself an engineer.
Yeah.
But you are certified. You've gone through the system. So you're an engineer. So I wouldn't call myself an engineer or a journalist, I mean. So I call myself a sports enthusiast, a content creator also in a way. So I'm so enthusiastic about it, and so I create content about it.
You create. Okay, so you love sports. So you decided to create content about sport. Oh, okay, that's nice. So why do you focus on football only?
Okay, so it's like going to the market to buy something to sell. If everyone is buying, or the consumers are looking for a white shirt to buy, you wouldn't go and buy a black shirt.
Yes.
You get it?
Yeah.
In Ghana, predominantly, people love football.
Yeah.
You go to everywhere, and if football is being played, there are a lot of people watching.
Mm-hmm.
But you wouldn't go somewhere when basketball is playing, you see them watching. So yes, it's a business. So I need to enter where the people do love it and try to make something out of it. So that's
Did you enter football because of the business side or because of the love you have for football?
My love was there, but I made a decision to enter because of the business side.
Oh, okay, makes sense. Okay. When did you realize that you actually love football that much that you want to create content about football?
I think every guy loves football, all right?
Not every guy.
Now, if you don't like football, then you are those kind of
This kind of
because everyone loves football, but something happened that I decided to make something from the football I love because I didn't understand why I should waste so much time on that and not get anything from it. The people do that by betting, and I'm also not a fan of that really. So something happened in my life somewhere in 2016, and then I had to make that decision to make something from football. Even when I made that decision, things didn't work well for it, or I didn't even move in that direction. I had to go back to the books and then come back at the point when I realized that it was time. That's when I entered.
When did it become like a full-time something for you?
Okay, so football, like making something from football.
Making something from football, like creating content out of
But let me tell you the backstory of that.
Okay.
So 2016, I think 9th March 2016, Champions League game was played. I think round of 16, Chelsea PSG.
Chelsea versus PSG. Okay.
Where PSG beat Chelsea by 2-1. I used to be a staunch fan of Chelsea. Currently, I'm 50-50.
I know you don't know whether you're a Chelsea fan or not.
I just watched them because of my soft spot for them. So on 9th March, they played, I think that was a Wednesday, they played a game against PSG. They lost by 2-1, round of 16. So the next day was Thursday, right? And I was in GHS 3 by then, in the school in Obuasi. So on Thursday, our first lesson, the period was ICT. And in Form 3, we used to be on a story building, and the ICT lab was downstairs. So normally when you get to the classroom, you have to just leave your bags and then go to the ICT lab for the lesson. So we went to the classroom. Now some boys were reviewing the match. We were just talking about it, the argument and a whole lot. So the ICT teacher came in and he was angry. He closed the door and then went to get a cane from other class. So out of ways to escape, there was a liver blade, a sort of liver blade which I think about 2 or 3 broken. So there was a way obviously there. I saw my friend jump through it. So the next thing that came to mind was to jump through it as well. I still decided to jump through and I did that. I actually didn't feel I'd gotten a cat and the cat is still here.
Yeah,
The cat is still here. I didn't feel I'd gotten a cat until I got to the ICT lab and realized that there was a cat.
Oh.
So when everything happened and then after that I sat and I was like, no, if football has made this happen to me, then
you have to make something out of football.
So I made that decision from that was 2016.
That was back in JHS.
Yes, but if you're a young guy, you're in school and in quote, you are good academically, they'll tell you to just focus on your books, read science, and try to be an engineer, doctor. So I followed the same path until somewhere, I think 2021. I think December, I spoke to a friend on the call, and I was like, oh, there's a station on campus called Focus FM, and he spoke about it. I told him I'll go there when school reopened. So school reopened, I think the first weekend I went there, and I just went and inquired who was the head of sports. I was introduced to him. The next day was, I think, sports show.
You done something like sports journalism or something like that before?
No.
That was the first time.
Yes.
You just went there with your confidence.
Yes, I just went there and asked the head of sports. I met him, and he was like, so when school reopens, most people don't come early. So that I think the pundits were not yet in school. So the next day there was a show, and I think one guy was just there. So I had to join him and then be the guest. So I joined, and then I think that the evening they had to play Canada USA. So I did an analysis and concluded that Canada would beat USA, and it happened.
Oh, okay. So that's when everything started. That's when the shine actually started.
And they called me after that, and since then I had to divert a bit from the international football and then go into something which I'm closer to, try to get something from it.
So why Ghana football? Why you focused on only Ghana football? Because most of the time, the content I see you put out there are about Ghana football, like the Premier League and all those things. Why is it like it's not an international something? You are focusing on only Ghana.
Okay, so why is it that Fabrizio Romano is not living in Europe to come and report on what's happening in Ghanaian football?
Oh, but Fabrizio reports news concerning Ghanaian players who are playing.
Okay, you can go to my timeline. You check when I posted that Liverpool has signed Florian Wirtz.
So
it is such that I actually prefer to get closer or to focus in the market I'm closer to, such that if something happens in the market, I can go there and report. Minuscule plane tickets. I can't go to England to go and watch Champions.
You have to be there before you can report.
No, but then you have to be there to get a hands-on, a first-sight experience of it. When you are there, the kind of story you tell is different from when you are watching from a third party. Yes, so I just thought of it and I was like, no. And I also had a discussion with someone and I realized, okay, it was a business as well. That's what I considered. So most people are not doing Ghanaian football, even though it's on the low. But let me go to the market and see. I actually thought of just doing journalism, moving from this TV station to here. But I didn't see myself too exceptional. But I had to make something. I have to do something to make myself exceptional.
You have to create value for yourself.
Because most people don't really know about it. They let me focus on it. So
but I started following I will not say I'm following. I've been following your content.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it has given me it has enlightened me on the Ghana football, small, like a little, very small.
So most people, you go to FMC TV stations, and on their shows, you hear them talk almost all the time about the international football and others. But then when someone comes and talks about Ghanaian football, there's a different recognition for that person. Then the person really knows that football. So that's why I decided to go into it. And then since then, I think there was one show at Focus FM. There was this guy, Vance Wachi Adam. He's still there. I was talking about, I think, Champions League. And it was then he had to talk about Kotoko and something. When I watched the enthusiasm, the guy and the laugh he was talking about, like with which he was talking about,
this is our own. Let's cherish our own.
I'd rather not go there. But then when I watched how he was talking about, I realized that no, it seems this guy has some things I don't have. and I decided to tap into it. And since then, I think it has been good.
That's also part of the learning process.
Yeah,
Like when you see someone who is like a bit
Yeah,
ahead of you
yeah.
or has something that you don't have, you have to learn from the person.
So that's why when I came to, I'm learning from you.
Oh, me too, I'm learning from you. I mean, you are my boss.
Me too.
Okay, so you actually entered the content creation fully after university, right? How was the transition like from a chemical engineer, graduate chemical engineer, trying to like make something out of football, create content about football, sports? Was it smooth, or like were there any hurdles that you had to cross before you could actually
Okay,
enter
so
content
so whoever
creation?
gave you a clue that I started when I finished in university was a lie.
Okay, so I
So
didn't say you started. I said you entered
so
fully.
so okay. When I was in school final year, all my mates in chemical engineering could attest to the fact that I started a YouTube channel. It was called Inside Chelsea. So that counts to my love for Chelsea that time.
Oh, okay. So at that time you were creating content about
Yes,
Chelsea.
Inside Chelsea. So in final, I had a YouTube channel called Inside Chelsea. So I realized that when something happens, it's only reports. Someone will go and watch Fabrizio Roman because he has built the credibility. I mean, but what would make someone come and listen to me? It's only when I'm able to report the truth, the news first. But I don't have the source, the access to that as well. So I'll just wait for Fabrizio and others to report and I tap into that. Whilst as I'm tapping into Fabrizio, a lot of people are tapping into, so it's already dead news. I created a channel and I had to, there was a time I used to go to library. You remember there was this computer set at the Prempeh library, yes.
Yeah, I wasn't
So
good.
I'll go to the library, I'll search my channel, subscribe with the computer. So
Eh,
all the computers there,
so that's
all the
what you're
computers
doing.
there, I'll subscribe all the computers to my channel. So I subscribe all those computers to my channel. Yeah.
That's a very good strategy.
And then sometimes I'll go and I'll open my video. I'll set to my channel, open the video, and then to play all. Now go. So maybe if 20 computers, they're all watching my videos.
Oh, okay.
And I go. But I realized that it wasn't going as I wanted it to go. So yeah, I had to live there. So when I finished school, I think I was still in Kumasi. I had to work a bit in media in Kumasi, multimedia Kumasi. So I was there and then a call came. The call came and then things I had to come to Accra. And then do a lot of stuff. And that's what we see now.
Do you still see yourself as a chemical engineer? Because right now you've been doing the content creation, the sports content creation for a while now. Everybody thinks Augustine is a digital creator. AQ is a digital creator.
You know, so you addressed me as a chemical engineer. So I don't know why.
That's how I addressed you.
Okay.
I'm asking you how you see yourself. Do you still see yourself like the chemical engineer I said you are?
So if you had addressed me as a minister, as a pastor, and I'm not a pastor, I would have objected to it. But I'm a chemical engineer. Come on. I wouldn't go to school for 4 years, read MSP, MTP, EDA, and a whole lot, and come and call myself a dictator.
So it's not like if you are trying to put career somewhere or something. It's just like on hold something for now.
It's no hold. We are just trying to find something to it. If it becomes a source of income, why not? I'll just move fully into it.
If it becomes a source of
income. It's not, I'm unemployed. Yeah. So it's not a source of income for me currently. So if I get employed in that dream job I want, then that's it.
So you have a dream job?
Of course. If I get that dream job today, I'll put all my cameras away and
you stop creating content.
Yes.
Why?
Because that's what I want to do.
Are you creating content because you don't have a job right now? You just want to keep yourself busy?
I'm creating content to make a living.
To make a living?
Yes.
So you in your head, you are going to make a living out of creating content?
It's not I'm making.
Oh, okay, you are making a living out of creating content, and it's good. It's actually helping you now.
Yeah.
So why are you saying you just stop creating content? Because you can be creating content and then you can also be working in your dream job.
The kind of money I want, I think my dream job would be able to give me. So there won't be a need to also worry myself traveling from here and there doing content creation.
Let's dive into the Ghana football scene, the Ghana Premier League. How is it like from your point of view? How is the whole Ghana Premier League scene like? There is the Division 1 or
Division 1, Division 2, and then the Premier League
and then the Premier League itself. But then the focus is not even on this like that. But then I would say the focus is on the Ghana Premier League, the Premier League itself. I want us to dive into it. Like, how is the scene like in your point of view?
The Ghana Premier League seems to be like a community that the inhabitants think has been black labeled, but the leaders of the community think it's up there. And maybe the leaders know that it has been black labeled, but they tend to ignore because the black labeling even feeds them something or gets them something. So that's a Ghana Premier League.
Now break things. Break things.
So the Ghana Premier League is in a state where it is bad, right? It is bad, but it is such that the leaders or the pioneers of the Ghana Premier League still tell us it is good because even in its bad state, they are getting something from it. You understand? Yeah. So that is it.
You're confusing me.
Yes. you need to be confused because what's happening in our football transcends humans understanding because you need to be confused. If you follow a lot of happenings in our football, you will not just get to understand. So there are some things we just watch and then ignore. You just pass.
Is it like there are some struggles in the league or something?
Well, the struggles, if you talk about
the content creator.
As a content creator, you are mostly seen as an enemy by the clubs.
Why?
Yes, because so
shouldn't you be like a friend rather? Because you are the one putting them on the map.
So there was this club, Hearts of Oak. All right. So a club like Hearts of Oak, in a very long time, will have their goalkeeper being called to Black Stars, Benjamin Asare. And then Hearts of Oak would not create content about his call up to Black Stars. But Augustine will do that.
Yeah.
Right? Augustine will get the numbers.
Yeah.
Benjamin Asare will go to his first training session and make a lot of saves. They will not create. Augustine
Nobody will talk about it.
Yes. I mean the club.
I'm talking about the club. Like they are not really focusing on their individual players like that.
But Augustine will do that about it. Yes. He will have the first cap for his national team. They will not do anything proper, but Augustine will do about it. So the next time you meet them at their training session or their match venue, they will see you as someone who has made his mind to make profit from the club, whilst it is something you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So if a player has gotten a call up to the national team, you're supposed to update your fans. What is going on?
Why do you think they are not doing that?
I feel they lack the expertise, one. And then before you even talk about expertise, I think personnel and then planning. Because there are times, for example, if you have the Black Star squad, right, maybe 24-man squad, I look at the players who are called from the Ghana Premier League. I do things about them. I plan to do things about them. If this player plays for 15 minutes, this is what I will do about him. But actually, they won't do that because that's not their focus. Because there's a club in Ghana who announced a coach in a normal club statement from a letter form.
In a letter form.
And we will not see a picture of even the coach. No, even the coach who appointed.
I saw one of your tweets. You were talking about how we have been appointing coaches like in a circle. Like this coach will come, then he will go to this team. We are not bringing in any new coach or any new idea. Why is that problem? Why is that a problem for you?
So if you go to Europe, one of the days we had Fabio Capello, Jose Mourinho, Carlo Ancelotti still in and around. We had Marcelo Bielsa, Avram Grant, Arsene Wenger, and then the other coaches. But today, you have Xabi Alonso, Enzo Maresca.
Yes.
This man you coach in our standard. They had 10 hands. They had 10
Ruben Amorim.
So what are we seeing in Europe? It's a kind of generation. Yeah. These people are coming, these people are going. So
generations come.
So they have intent to get their football evolving with new ideas. They expect Guardiola who who will come in with total football, dominate play and win the ball. There's a club who come in with game pressing, press the person to the heart and get the football. But it's you know, there's something like game pressing. Do you understand? But in our football, it's just old Nyomana 4-4-2 diamond.
There be a 4-4-2 diamond.
4-4-2
4-4-2 flat.
4-4-2 diamond. What top? Because we are not having confidence in those young guys. I can tell one or two coaches in Ghana, when it comes to the tactical knowledge of the football, they are up there, but they're not going to get the best of the jobs. We saw one with under 20 team recently, Coach Desmond Ofe. He has been relieved of his job recently because he now has to be the assistant coach of Ghana Black Stars. He's a solid guy, but he is fortunate to get into that.
Yeah.
There was one guy, Coach Vivi Parker Hansen, that Rasta guy who led Golden Case to MTN Africa final.
I don't even know him.
Yes, and he has they played Kotoko. They dominated Kotoko from in one.
There were a lot of controversies about that game.
That penalty.
Yeah, they said the penalty.
So there's a guy like that, but you not see them give him the job. So in turn you have an worker come in, old man, Paco Fabian come in, and the whole lot of recycling.
They still believe in that.
Yes, but you don't really need to understand that Paco Fabian, who is about 60 something, will get to understand someone, a young guy who is 19, that even when he's at training, he needs to streak small.
Yeah.
So if you streak small, you are disobedient.
Yeah. But why will you go to training and then you go and streak?
Oh, it is
we are coming to train. We are coming to play football.
Oh, we can play.
Don't you think that's also like affecting the players?
Do you spend more time on Instagram than Lamine Yamal?
I don't get this.
No, if you told me the social media, that bit of streaking in social media affects the player. And who spend more time than Lamine Yamal on social media? But this 17-year-old guy is dominating the world.
Performing.
Yeah, so if you are good, you are good. He's streaking for 2-3 minutes. Wouldn't do any harm to him. Probably he's just bored by those old tactics we are giving. Yes. So for me, I believe those young coaches.
But there are also you said let's take Europe for instance. Yeah. When you go to Europe, the big men are still in the game.
How many?
Like Mourinho, they are still.
How many of the big men that I mentioned are still in the top 5 leagues in Europe? How many of them? Where is Bielsa now? He's not there. Yeah. Where is Mourinho now? Now in Turkey. Yeah. There's Ancelotti now at Brazil. In fact, but we don't talk about it now.
But Brazil is not a small team. Brazil is a very solid team. So.
In this 21st century, from I think 2006 or 2010 coming, if you are to go into any World Cup and then we mentioned top 3 favorites to win, I don't think you ever had Brazil.
It makes sense.
Yes. Yeah, so if you are talking about the Brazil we knew was the Brazil who would play with you in the first half and come and kill you in the second half. Yeah. And that Ronaldo.
Yes. Do you know Brazil?
And that's what they say in Brazil. Yeah. You understand? Yes. So Brazil, of course, is not a bad team, but then if Ancelotti, I think Ancelotti now is with the one, or it is the one with the best job currently. That's Brazil. So all these old men, they are fading out.
Football people, you say Mufa young men.
Young boys,
football people, Mufa young boys in Brum now. Most of this is our game. Mama game near young boys in the Charlie, so you've been getting recognition. How does it feel?
I'm getting recognition.
Oh yeah, you get because I knew you. Someone didn't know you. But then the person has seen you talking about a certain player. And one thing I like about you is you actually have players that you focus on. Sometimes you pick one player, then you decide to create content about this particular player. This is what's going on in his life. You understand? Yeah. So how does it feel gaining some recognition now? Yeah, even though you are not there yet, but then it's a process. You can't just go there.
Yeah, that's true. I think when it comes to having recognition, it just shows that people are liking what you are doing. Yes. So that's the end product of people like what you are doing. They get to recognize you. So that's why now I'll just go outside someone will meet me. Oh, Charlie, Augustine. And sometimes
it makes you feel like right now you have value for yourself.
Charlie, I mean, I don't know. Oh, there was a time at, I think, Legon Stadium. And there was one man, and he met me. He mentioned my full name.
Augustine Quansah.
And I think I was going to buy sausage.
Your this one was AQ.
Yeah.
And then he changed it to Augustine
But AQ is
Quansah. Nah, I know that AQ is the initials of Augustine Quansah. But then it was Augustine AQ, and then all of a sudden Augustine Quansah.
So some people know me as Quansah. Some people know me as AQ. Some people know me as Augustine Quansah. So depending on which name you mention, I get to know where you know me from. And some people know me as some other name.
What is that? What is the some other name?
Some other name. You talk about that one later. So yeah, as I was saying, so there's a time I went to Lagos Stadium, and then one man met me. I think I was going to buy sausage. Those are butchers. I was just going to buy one. So the man met me, mentioned my name, was like, "Oh, I'm doing well." In 10, the man bought like 5 for me. So that was the time I felt like, Charlie, I reach. So yeah, I think recognition is good, but then and you get accepted more when you deal with the content you're talking about, the player spotlight. I think I went to Takwa the last time, and then I had some corporate players coming to me and like applauding me for what I'm doing. It's good because you go to Europe and there's this new Chelsea boy, Esteva or whatever. You realize that the 2 club workout games he has played, he had not had any goal involvement, but he's taken to PR man of the match consistently. It's PR.
Okay.
It's PR. You realize that Victor Roque will be coming from Brazil. The PR will be there. Also, Fati's PR was top notch.
Very, very, very top.
Ganacho's PR was top notch.
Ganacho's PR wasn't that. It wasn't up there. Kobe Menu had that top notch PR.
Yeah. So if we are not promoting our players, then they shouldn't wait for someone to promote them. So I think, for Benjamin Asare stand out with the Black Stars for the past 1 year. I think I've been one of his topmost PR guys. And I enjoy doing that as well because he merits what you are doing for him. And he has not disappointed me yet. Hopefully he disappoints me sometime to come in and I'll just get...
Why are you hoping he disappoints you?
Oh no. In life, everything that has a beginning has an end.
Okay.
You know that. And he wouldn't play till he dies. He obviously do something like a Richard Oforin and then he'll finally be giving the bye-bye.
Okay. So you started content creating because you wanted to make something out of football.
Not a comedy.
Yeah, not a comedy.
Yeah.
But still a comedy. You want me? What did you? I want us to talk about the mental and then the emotional health side of it. Entering content creation and then deciding to create content on football, Ghana football, something that even in Ghana here we haven't really embraced it like that. Now you decide that this is what I want to do. Were there days that like things were getting overwhelming, you were becoming slow, you felt like this might not pay off, let me not waste my time, like the self-doubt and all of that?
So yeah, I've had quite some moments of self-doubt and then others, but then you'll be there.
Sometimes that you felt like, let me just top this.
Yes. So you'll be there and something happens in Ghanaian football and you have a friend texting you, actually, so is it a football you are following? So like, just a waste of time.
Yeah.
I read some of these things.
Something like what?
Okay, so the most important thing is the penalty. The penalty. Yes. Oh, I had a lot of friends texting.
But that penalty, was it a penalty or like it wasn't a penalty? According to you, was it a penalty?
To become a chemical engineer, so I've actually not attended a referee course. But then, to me, I think it was a penalty. But then, it was not supposed to be given in a final. Do you understand?
Yeah. Why are there penalties that you have to give in the final?
Yeah. Oh, final is a competitive game.
Because me, when I watched the video, I didn't know why there was a fuss about it because it's a penalty.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that was a penalty.
It was like this. Kwampuku, there was a ball that had a ricochet on the Golden Kicks defender, and then Kwampuku just lashed on it. He pushed the ball into the opposite position of the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper came and got the ball, and I think he got a mouth touch on his leg. After that, another defender oncoming clattered Kwampuku. He fell. Okay, so falling in the penalty box alone when there was contact gives an incidence of a penalty. But it comes when it's a touch, a mild touch, or it was a heavy touch. So when it's a mild touch in a normal game, a mild touch can actually be given as a penalty. But in a final, that's why in a final, you have referee yeah as a center referee. And you should be a referee who should be able to.
So this is a referee that you knew he's competent enough.
Who knew he's competent enough?
Okay, not you, but the people knew
they knew he's competent, but I don't think it was supposed to be given in this game. But it's part of football, and even the chairman of the MTNFA Cup says he is happy that happens because this controversy makes the tournament trends.
So what do you hope that like it change in football? Like what's one thing that you hope it can have some changes in the Ghana football?
In Ghana football. Yeah. In Ghana football, I think the people leading the football and leading the football business, and I don't think it will ever change. If it should change, there's one thing that can change it. Unless we had this Sodom and Gomorrah, it takes everyone away. New people come.
Do you have any big dreams for the Ghana football coverage?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, probably.
Or you are saying that you go back to the dream job.
If the dream job comes, I'll go. But if not, and I'm still within this, probably flowing some of these teams to international tournaments, and then probably going to the World Cup.
2026 World Cup.
World Cup will be played.
I was like
2026. So the World Cup will be played in 2026.
Oh, I was thinking about this one. I was like, Augustine is making waves there. He can go to the World Cup. He can go to the US somewhere. Yeah, but like you are up there, Charlie. Proud of you. How does it feel to be walking around like Augustine Quansah? I am Augustine Quansah. I still don't know how to address you because I feel like I want to call you a journalist. But you are saying you are just a content creator. Augustine Quansah, the sports journalist, the sports pundit. How do you feel?
So there's a line in one of
within you.
Yeah. There's a line in one of King Palute's song that is Maye Kuntai. So yeah, that is it.
We are in the closing moments. Yeah. It's been very good having this conversation with you. What message would you share to someone who wants to also follow the Ghana football scene, but then the person thinks or the person feels like, oh, you can be a female and fahum. Like, what would you say to that person? Would you encourage the person to not listen to anybody and then do what he feels like doing or what he wants to do?
So this is what I think. I think if there's one guy called Mohamed Shaban, he's up there when it comes to the Ghanaian football scene. And if Mohamed Shaban has done it and is getting the recognition, he seems to be like the standard for us. Is a standard carbon 12 or carbon 14 with carbon 12?
I don't know.
When it's you. So
what are you chemical engineer?
So he seems to be the standard. So if you look at this guy and what he's doing and how people are receiving him, you just think about it yourself. And it's fine.
Is he your role model in there?
No, it's not my mind. In my mind is somewhere.
Where is your mind?
Chemical engineering. But then if you're a young guy and you want to enter Ghana football, it's fine. But it's quite difficult because even getting data on it is difficult. Most of the things I know now, 2008, 2002, 2000, even 2017, I was not watching Ghana football. In 2022.
When did you start watching Ghana football?
I started watching Ghana football like 2 years ago. But 2 years ago, I talk about things like verbatim, what happened even before the 2 years ago, because I made a conscious effort. I sat, read about them, followed them, asked people about it, and
you've actually worked on it. You knew where you wanted to go,
so yeah, because I don't want a situation where people be talking about something, I'm there and I'm being recognized and I can't talk about it. So I just had to know about it. But how do you get to know that the first World Cup was played in 1930 or so? How do you get to know?
I don't know.
It's about reading.
Yeah.
So yeah, if
you get back to the history books,
yes,
and then
but it's difficult getting it in Ghana. Getting it is really difficult because we don't really have proper archives for our football.
Ghana, do we have archives to even talk about proper?
I just Uncle GF.
Do we have archives?
Yeah, but I think that's the only disadvantage or the hardest thing. If you're able to break that jinx, I think you're good to go. And it's something good. Even if you don't make money out of it, it's knowledge. Now, knowledge can't be taken away from you, of course. It is yours forever. So I think, yeah, I would advise you to come to Ghana football. You are welcome. And you may also buy yes and chains. Come here waiting for you.
Who is one young talent that you think we should watch out for? You think he's going to break through?
Okay, so one guy, I was really rooting for him, but it's unfortunately something happened to him. He was part of the Nswaterwan team that left the Ghana Premier League because of the polling incident. Yes, so he currently doesn't have a club. It's called Foster Apetogbo. Apetogbo. So his nickname is Fooding.
Fooding.
Yes.
They call him Fooding.
Yeah, Foster Apetogbo. He's a very solid guy. And I think at least with the under 19 national team. He's a very good guy. He was in SHS when he was playing for them. He went to Kuhis. I think even when he was in SHS, he met Kotoko. He had a goal and assist against Kotoko in Kumasi when he was at Kuhis.
When he was at Kuhis, played against Kotoko.
So no, he was playing for Nswaterman.
Oh, okay. At that time, he was still a student. Oh, okay.
Yes, he finished BT I think last year. He's a solid guy. He's up there. And there's one another guy, Benasumwa. He's a player of Kotoko, but he's currently on loan with Celta Vigo. He had a 1 year loan, but they've extended the loan because of how good he is. So these are my two guys.
So currently, who is the best player in
Ghana League? Yeah. In Ghana League, you're the best player.
Say the best player.
Ghana League, best player. So there's one player here. According to stats, he has won the top goal scorer in our league 2 times, and it's only happened I think some years back. Ishmaelado. So I think for now I will tell him as the best player. Stephen Amankuna. He's called Gini CR7. Yeah. He's got Gini CR7. So yeah. Brekum Chelsea. So, I met him recently. I went to meet him at the airport and I took a picture with him. Yeah. I think you saw that picture. If I say something about him, you get to remember that. Amankuna. He was holding my waist in the picture.